Welcome back to the Seven Spiritual Laws of Success workshop. Today, we are going to be discussing the law of karma. The law of karma, as you know, simplified terms, I'll go into it a little bit deeper in a minute. It's what you give, what you get. It's not like the law of giving and receiving, which it is. It's more along the lines of what we do to someone else. You know how they say what goes around comes around? That's one of the principles. You treat someone poorly, you'll get that in return. So we want to live our lives in constant state of flow, abundance, which means that we are giving our actions, thoughts, priorities so that we can get the benefit of life. So the law of karma has an action and its consequences, like the law, a little bit like the law of giving and receiving, but this time it's more action as opposed to emotional. But even it plays into it. All of these laws kind of flow into one another. So in this one, we'll be discussing how the concept is equivalent to the Newton's law of motion, which is for every action, there is an equal yet opposite reaction. And karma is not a punishment, it's a tool for education and growth. We want to learn how to be better people. We want to be people that give. We want to be people that learn. We want to be people that grow. So we'll be discussing how we could apply this law into our lives, how we can enrich our lives and the lives of others by our actions. Now, some of us in this group are light workers, musicians. So what we give gives us joy. If, like myself, I like to help people out, people are going to help me. So I'm going to share a little story with you. This happened last week. I was training this new girl at the front desk, and the 2 days that we were both at the front desk, one time this girl came in because we were helping her out. You know what she did? She gave us both 2 bars of chocolate. And it was unexpected. I didn't expect it. It's my job to help out, but it just feels good to help out. So because we helped her out, she gave us the chocolate. Now the chocolate bar that she gave me was two different ones. The one that she gave me happens to be one of my favorites, which has a little bit of orange flavor into it. So I was just so grateful for that. It was unexpected. It was definitely unexpected. So that's an example of how the law of karma works. And the second example is this guy was waiting for an Uber and he came into the front desk and he goes, "Do you have a charger for a phone?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I gave him mine. And then his Uber showed up and he gave me and the girl that I was training $20. Again, unexpected. It's just by doing something good that you get the rewards. I didn't ask for it. I didn't expect it. It wasn't something that it was required of that man to do. He just, out of the kindness of his heart, decided these guys are doing something for me. These two are doing something nice for me. I'm going to reward them. Is $20 going to break the bank? No, it's not. But it's the action.
Mm.
He himself is probably going to get, well, not probably, he's going to get some good in his life as well. He was just a nice soul, a nice spirit. So that is kind of how the law of karma works. Karma is definite. All actions, positive or negative, bring corresponding results. Like I said before, equal and opposite reaction. When something good happens to you, it's because you did something good for someone, including yourself. Right now I am on in New Orleans. I work very hard, to do my jobs. And so this is my reward for myself. I need this time for me to relax, to take it easy. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine and we're just having a wonderful time. It's very laid back, definitely something that I needed for myself. I'm gonna open it up just for a few minutes. How do you feel the law of karma works in your life? How do you feel, or how have you seen the law of karma in action?
Well, I would say um, over the course of my life, I've always tried to give the best of me, no matter the result. I mean, it's just trying um, to be honest and work hard to be a good student, for example, but also to be a good father for my daughter. And now um, I see how all those things return to me, all those good things, all those things that I have done through my life. I have seen. Now I can see the results of everything. So I would say that is karma. That's could be an example because it's just to, I don't know, to to give something to, I don't know, to give something to the church, for example, playing drums, and in return they invited me to the, no, because nothing. It's just they invited me today to have lunch, like amazing fried chicken in a restaurant that I wanted to eat, and I didn't ask for that. It's just say, hey, Humberto, do you wanna go to this restaurant? And they didn't know anything about that restaurant. That restaurant is from Venezuela. It's a Venezuelan restaurant. It's very good. Oh, do you want to go? Do you want to go there? And I said yes. And I don't know. I just when I think when we uh, give from our heart and love, it's karma. I mean, it's like the energy of the universe works. It's something natural. It's nothing that you have to do, but you're going to receive it. But I don't know why, Eldon. You can probably we can go, or you can tell me more about this. But a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm a really good person. I treat everybody good. I mean, but everybody treat me bad. Everybody I receive, I'm sick. I don't have anything. I don't have money, but I'm a good person." So how karma works in that kind of person? Also, I can see people that probably they are fine. I mean, they are good persons, but in their life, I see they are suffering a lot. Of they have a lot of issues. I don't know.
That okay, so there's a couple of things that you said here. And I've learned this proverb, a Hawaiian proverb. It says the sweet potato doesn't have to say it's sweet.
Okay.
So if you're telling people that you're a nice person, that's completely up for debate. I do nice things. I'm a nice person. Why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting that? Why am I not getting the rewards? Remember, we radiate how we feel. So if this
Mm-hmm.
person is radiating, I'm not getting what I deserve, the universe is listening to that. I'm not getting kindness from someone. I'm not getting the love that I want from someone. So you're saying that. That person is saying that, and that's what the universe is giving. So if this person says, I am getting the love I deserve. I am getting the joy I deserve. I am getting the rewards I deserve. I am being a good person. That is what the universe is going to say. They'll give you. Another thing, if you say things like, why don't I get the love I deserve? Why don't I get the respect I deserve? You're already sending out the messages that you're not getting it, which means the
Mm-hmm.
universe is going to give you
Mm-hmm.
more of that. And I think I spoke
Mm-hmm.
about this. There are people that um and this is just an example. We see what we want to see. If you see something that you hate, you're going to keep seeing it all the time. I don't like that car. I don't like this house. You're going to be going around the neighborhood, and that's where you're going to be seeing that type of house, that type of car. When I was opening up my fitness center, I was looking for places to do to lease. All I would see is for lease signs. For lease, for lease. Everywhere I walked in the neighborhood at people's, that's all I would see. Then I was in the process of buying a car and I wanted a Jeep Wrangler. All I would see was Jeep Wranglers because I was focused on that. And that's what the universe is giving me, you know?
Mhm.
So if this person keeps on speaking about the things that they're not getting, they're going to get more of it. Ah, my job is hard and well, you just said it, your job is hard. When
Mm.
I was at my previous job, I was having these stress, and it was always Thursdays. I don't know why it was Thursdays, but it was stressful Thursdays. And I said, I'm going to turn this around. So I put on my calendar every Thursday, today is a stress-free Thursday. Then the following Thursday, it was a little bit less stressful. Then I would go on the train, and today's a stress-free Thursday. I would look into the sky, talk to the universe. Today's a stress-free Thursday. I was putting it out there. This is a stress-free day. Well, all of a sudden, I had to take it off my calendar because my Thursdays were stress-free. That was my action. The law of karma was practicing the law of karma. I was asking, I was writing, I was contemplating a stress-free experience on a Thursday. So that
Mhm.
action came back as an action of a stress-free Thursday. It's more like the law of giving and receiving because I didn't do anything to get something back. I did, but I didn't. But this is the law of karma we're discussing. But my point is for this person that feels that way, they have to change their mindset. If
Mm.
you want to be treated well, you have to treat others well. I'm pretty sure we all know of the golden rule. Does anyone know what the golden rule is?
Way to go.
The golden rule is do unto others as you would like to have done unto you.
Okay.
Do you know what the platinum law is?
No.
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Okay.
People will not remember your name, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Mhm.
That is the one thing that I've noticed. When I was at my when I had the fitness center, I was walking around, and he goes, "Eldon, not Eldon, but he didn't know my name." He goes, "Listen, I don't know what your name is, but I know who you are." And he told me, he goes, "The reason I know who you are is because people will remember how you made them feel. I don't remember your name." And that really struck with me. That really hit here in the heart. So that's my message to the group, but I'm kind of addressing you because you asked that question. Anyone else want to share?
Thank you.
I
No,
can
you're
go.
welcome. Of course.
Um, yeah, I remember Maya Angelou was the one that said that. You know, people will remember how you make them feel, not what you did. Like after you pass, your achievements or all these academic achievements, people most likely won't remember that, but they will remember how they felt when they interacted with you. So that impacted me too when I read it. Um, the love karma, I was modeled by my parents. They were people that dedicated their lives to service, and they did a lot of charity work. You know, they belonged to the Lions Club, and they did a lot of charitable events and things like that. And even people constantly ringing the doorbell and asking for help, people that my parents didn't know, and they will help them. They will assist them in any way they want. You know, maybe somebody needed a surgery or something and they couldn't afford it or something. And so they will connect them with a doctor that will do it for free or something like that, right? And I remember one day, my mom, I was maybe, I don't know, 12 or something, and my mom got in my room and opened my closet and started looking for shoes in my closet. And I was like, what do you want with my shoes? So there is a lady with a little girl at the door, and the little girl has no shoes, and she's about your age. So, I said, what pair of shoes, you want to give? And I'm like, Oh, so it kind of caught me by surprise because I'm like, why you let me see? And then he gave a pair of shoes to the girl from my closet, and the happiness that I saw and the gratitude of the mother, it was with tears, so all of those things were modeled to me, and I could see how when my parents did a good deed, um, it will always come around some way or another, right? Like whenever money was tight or something, all of a sudden, the phone will ring and they tell my dad, "Oh, remember, back in the day, we owe you this much money. We finally clear, we did an audit on the account and here is what we owe you." And here you are. And that's exactly the money he needed to pay for whatever he needed. And so things like that, come around and people will come and give baskets of fruits or vegetables or whatever, like anything. So I kind of grew up watching that. So I truly believe in that. And me personally, I also experience. I haven't been, have to be honest, I haven't been as active as my parents were.
Mhm.
I do it in a different way. But I find that whenever I do that, somehow, somewhere, it comes around as well. In maybe somebody else, will do a good deed for me. And but I also have seen other situations where there are people who are really um, really they treat other people really bad and they get away with it. And I'm like, where is the law of karma in this situation? And so that part of it is the part of the law of karma that it got me confused. I would like to hear what you have to say about that. There are
Uh,
people that are really bad, three people, and they get away with it constantly over, and nothing happens. So I wonder why.
well, maybe something does happen and we don't see it,
Mhm. Mhm.
and maybe that is one of the reasons why they act like that. And I've heard this all the time. Is this person mean because is this person mean because they've been treated meanly? Or is this person being mean because they're just mean? I'm really trying not to use expletives here because I learned this one. Is this person, what's the thing? This person can't get any dates because they're mean, but they are mean because they can't get any dates. So what is it's like the chicken or the egg, which came first. You can't have a chicken without an egg, but you can't lay a chicken only lays eggs. So it's a situation of we don't see it. And then
Mhm.
another thing also is, and we discussed this too, all things happen in divine timing. The action, the meanness, the attitude this person is reflecting on another, they may not see, we may not see the actions now, but the universe is taking record of that. The universe has a perfect accounting system. Everything happens in good timing. And I've heard of people that are rich and they abuse their power and they abuse their influence and spend their money unwisely. And what happens? They're back to broke. They weren't wise, they weren't sharing, they weren't paying attention to the laws of giving and receiving, they weren't paying attention in this particular case to the law of karma. So all of that came back to them in one big lump. You're paying for it not now, but later. There have been many stories of rags to riches to rags. The poor person, gets this certain amount of money and they're so grateful and they're so happy in this, and then it goes to their head. And then they start treating people, well, I'm rich now, you're poor. I'm going to treat you this way because of my wealth. So they're not knowing that they're racking up points in karma. So just because we don't see the effects of karma on this individual, behind the scenes, the universe is working. It's like, you better stop doing what you're doing because that karma boomerang is going to come and hit you and it's going to hit you hard. So just because we don't see the actions of karma on them doesn't mean they're not happening or not going to happen. Remember, no results without a cause. It's the law of cause and effect. You help someone, you get good help. You brush your teeth won't fall out. It's just like that.
Mhm.
John, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I will answer the question with how I witness karma around in my life. And I always, I mean, since I was a child, before anybody could tell me what karma was, I sense that if you do good deeds, the universe or God will reward you. And I, like many people, like even what Humberto said, I'm such a nice person. Why am I not getting all the good? The difference in what my wisdom has taught me now is it's where you look at, where you put focus that attention that you will see where the goodness is coming through. So it might not be in the most obvious way, right? And it might also not be immediate, right? Like for me, one of my rewards was that I could see that my mother, who thought that she's going to die at a young age, she's still alive today. So it's like looking at those things and the blessings around you that you see the goodness, around because of just being a compassionate, generous, friendly person, you know. And even in the Bible, it says that the good deed is its own reward. So it's like it's an immediate recompensation, for what you did because the feeling should be good. So it's like that should be suffice. Now it's still good to receive something, material or like a reward, that you could touch. But at the same time, just knowing that you did good for someone and like Solina said, seeing the smile and the emotions, knowing that they really needed, like you were their karma, so and I could attest also that it continues to build up, like the goodness that you give out, like it continues to build up and you get it back tenfold and you're just like, wow, I don't even know how I earned this. And the truth is because you sort of like, you just continue to be kind and treat others well, and the universe will always see that and bring the reward to you.
Well, thank you for sharing that because that leads me into the next action, which is karma expands. Actions tend to become habitual. If you're a good person, just not even by thinking about it, someone asks you for help, you automatically say, here, do you need help with this? It just becomes a part of who you are and not something that is forced. For me, in my current experience working at the front desk, my boss came in and she when I was training there, she was like, Eldon has this down. Eldon knows that he has to help people because we are in the service industry. These people come to us for help because they know that number one, we can help them, and number two, they know that this is the place to go get the help. So that's what I told the young lady that I'm training. And I said to her, they're gonna come to you for help, whether you know how to do it or not. They come here to get your help. So we are the front desk. We're not the leasing department, and we are not the management department. They have departments for that. We'll transfer their request to them, but still help them out. They're going to be more appreciative that you took that extra step to help them out and not give them, I don't know, I'm not the leasing department. I don't know, that's a management issue. We want to be not just at work, but always. We want to be the type of person, if you don't know, let's find out. I don't know. I mean, we have these devices, these phones, the answers are right there at the fingertips. You don't know where a restaurant is, you jump on your phone and find the location. Someone is going to come to you for help. It just becomes instinctual. Now, there are people, and this is very unfortunate, that they are smart enough instinctually to help other people and they don't. And your gifts, their gifts are not being used to their full potential. I think I've said this in every course. I learned at a very young age that that was it, that I was put on this planet to use my skills and abilities to help other people. And that just always comes to me. I mean, I've been having people even like on vacation, how do you do this? How do you get there? Do you know where this is? Do you know where this restaurant is? How can I get to this place? It's just maybe it's what I'm radiating that people come to me for help, which again, I don't mind. It's what I do. I know that if someone doesn't have the answer, they can come to me. And if I don't know the answer, I'll figure it out and help them regardless. Because it is an action. This is an action that tends to become habitual. That is the energy that I am radiating. And I believe I told you a couple of times when I go to my window in the morning, I have a group of the people that I call the chosen. And every morning when I remember, or if I'm not on vacation, I'm like, be with the chosen today, guide their paths. You know, here in New Orleans, there's this one guy, he's the bartender. And, you know, we just struck up a conversation and he goes, I just finished graduating from multimedia and design. I do Python development and HTML and CSS. And I'm just thinking, I do HTML, CSS, you know. So we just struck up this conversation and he's working at the bar because he's having a little bit of a difficult time finding work. I said, do you have a pen and a paper? He goes, yeah, here. I gave him my online portfolio. I gave him resources to look for work. I gave him places to do his online portfolio and get it ready so that he could look for work. I told him how to copy and paste his resume onto an AI platform and by copying and pasting the description and his resume into it so that he can get work. He goes, this is a gold mine. And I can see on his face that he was just so grateful because he didn't know this information. And his talents are not being put to his full potential. And once I told him all these things, he's like, I didn't know anything like this before. So he has all this information now so that he can look for work. Now, what do you think happened here? The universe put this guy in front of me to help him out. So my action to him is going to give me karmic results. And this is not something that I'm doing because I'm going to get a reward. It just flowed out of me because for me, the information that I have, I'm not going to hoard it. That's negative. If I have the information to give out, I'm going to help someone. I'm going to be that type of person to get this person to where he wants to go. That is my skill as a life coach. This is why I do these things because it is my duty to help others, to elevate others, to bring out the best in others. You know, we have it in us. I just bring it out and I know that everyone has that one special thing. Umberto, you are a musician. People love you for who you are and what you do. You bring joy to these people. And from the many conversations, it brings you joy just to do your thing.
Mhm.
And you don't even think about it. That was your gift. You were given the gift of music and you are a Grammy winning artist. That is your reward. People are recognizing you for your skill, for your talent. Did you ask for a Grammy? No, they gave you one. You earned
Yeah.
it. That's you. You didn't say, hey, give me a Grammy. I've been working hard. I'm a musician. I'm a talented. No, the universe is giving this to you. This is your reward. This is the
Mhm.
karmic effect at
Mhm.
work.
Mhm. Yes. Hey, well,
Moving on, sorry, go ahead.
well, sorry, but I wanted to say that in my situation as a disabled person, sometimes people in the street wants to help me to cross the street, or and there are things that I want to do by myself because of my training, or it's part of the, to be independent. But sometimes I think, and also my trainer, is the way I feel. People wants to experience, be generous, be kind, because it's a feeling. It's something that the people wants to feel also. And sometimes even though that I can do it by myself, I let people helps me and grab my hands or my arm or whatever. Just help me. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. And I feel people, also are happy to do that because I have other friends, they are disabled too. Sometimes they'll feel like a little bit like they think that it's offensive sometimes when people want to help them, hey, let me grab your shoulder to your arm and let me. There are people they don't like that. But in my case, I have a different perspective because I feel more that the people wants to have that experience, and I'm really glad to help them to feel kindness, and generosity in their heart and things like that. So I'm telling you this because it's like a different perspective, right? It's like a different way to see to like you are as a person be generous, but also let other people to experience that feeling, which is great also.
Yeah, that's the law of karma in action. You know, people, there are people that genuinely want to help others. It's just innate, if they see a person like yourself wanting to cross the street, they're like, I'm gonna do it. It's just natural for them. And then of course on the other side, there are people that are like, I'm not helping anybody. I need help myself, you know? But
Yes.
then it all goes back into what you're rating. And if you say, I could use the help myself, I'm not helping anyone, you're putting that out into the universe. And if you
Yeah.
keep on saying that, you're going to get that. It's
That's
we discussed it. It's the law of karma. It's in little things, which takes us to the next section of the workshop, the practical application of these principles. What is your daily habit? What are you saying to yourself? The universe is listening. I've said it many times. What are you doing in your life that is causing a negative reaction or a positive reaction? In the example that you just said, Humberto, I'm just standing there ready to cross the street and someone helps me out. You
Mhm.
probably helped someone out earlier that day or that week
Yeah.
that someone says, I'm going to help this guy cross the street.
Mhm. Yes, yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to open it up again. What daily practices for cultivating positive karma are you doing? You can do one sentence, two sentences, completely up to you. It may be a hard thought process on this one. So I'll ask it again.
Mhm.
Daily practices. What daily practices are you cultivating that generate positive karma?
I always bring something to the front desk guys in the building. When I go to 7-Eleven or something, I bring a soda or something. Why? Because they are working all day, they're thirsty or they're hungry and also I would like to give them a snack. It's something that I think no everybody do this here in the building. I haven't seen anybody doing things like that, but in my case, it's natural. I mean, it's something that I really happy to do it. So I think I try to do that. I mean, it's just an example, but just when I see people working here in the building or whatever, I just try to give them something, like, hey, I'm here for you. But I got you. No worries. You're thirsty. Yeah, you have a soda. And yeah, that's just an example.
Thank you
Um,
for sharing that.
I think that's so thoughtful, Humberto. Good work. I mean, I wish when I was in the doorman building, I was that thoughtful, but I wasn't. But in other ways, yes, I would open the door for people, smiling, saying hello while I pass them, just to let them know, the world is there's still some people that are friendly in the world, and yeah, just kind of like trying to be the breath of fresh air that reminds them that there's still decent people. And I think
Hmm.
that's good enough for the karma. They're
Yes.
like, because everything else, I mean, not everyone is necessarily doing that. So, but yeah,
Mm,
that's what I do on the daily.
that's
Thank you
good.
for sharing that, John.
For me, I think just checking on people, like today I had a friend that was going through some surgery, so just kind of checking on her and checking on people right now. A lot is happening in people's lives and around the world, and everybody's so a lot of people are grieving in so many ways and forms, and including myself. So for what I hear, there's a lot going on, and sometimes just sending a text and say, "How are you doing?" or checking on people. And sometimes I know when I am in the receiving end of that, it means the world to me. Um, and it's so timing. It is very important because when I receive those texts, it's usually in a day that I need it the most. And I'm like, you have no idea that one text, what it meant to me, what it did to me that day. So because I know how it feels, I like to reciprocate and do that for others, just to be there, just checking on them or calling an elderly friend or a family member to say how you doing, and making smile for like a couple minutes, and that kind of makes their day. Um, I am trying to see, no, I'm not trying. I am doing, I am doing some work on my checking on my thoughts and making sure that I'm more aware when I am thinking negatively. And as you were saying, like if you think this, well, that's what you're gonna try, right? So I'm really working on that as of late. And when I find these little glimmers of hope, I like to share them with other people. And just a couple days ago, some lady was saying to me, I said, "Thank you. What you shared with us gave me hope." It's like in a situation where people are just don't know what to do and they feel like totally not desperate, but yeah, they feel like hopeless. And so he said, "You gave me hope." And to give someone hope um, is a big deal these days. And so anything that we can do to be there for one another, I think now is very much appreciated.
Listen, I want to thank everyone and thank you for sharing your story, Solina. I want to thank you all because at one way or another, you are all making my job easy today because the next point is silent reflection before significant choices, which is just what you talked about. A little text that you send out is just you're going to think about it. You're reflecting on that little text that you're sending to someone that changes that person's day. You didn't think about, "Oh, I'm gonna send a text right now." You were just quietly sitting, you thought of someone, you sent out the text, you reflected silently on what you're gonna be doing, and then you did it. So you're you're all making my job easy today. The next point is mindful attention to thoughts and actions. I believe all of us in this group today have done it. I don't have to talk too much about this. Solina, in your current example, sending out the text message. Umberto, same thing with giving the little gift to the front desk people. John, listen, you do it every day just by, being there, being you. You don't really, you're so in tune to your mindful attention to thoughts and actions that I can't even pick one example. You do it all the time, even in the conversations that we've had that are too numerous to count. The next point is we're going to address dealing with negative karmic patterns. And I believe we briefly touched on it, but I want to kind of dive deeper into it. Negative karmic patterns we discussed earlier. if you do something bad to someone, you're going to get something bad from the universe. In Solina's example, this person was treating this person bad. She didn't see the results of karma on this individual. The universe is taking care of that. That's that's not on you. Um, when you see things like that, um, it really is the universe. You got this. I'm not worried about this. And that's one of the things that I do. That's how I address it. At one time or another, we all have been on on the other side of someone treating us bad. Whether it's, I don't know, being treated bad at work by your boss, or being shortchanged, or someone crossing us off on the highway, whatever it is. How do we address those issues? We all have a different way of responding to something like that. In the case of the highway, I've seen and myself, I'm like, all right, this person just cut me off. You know what? They're probably in a hurry. Um, or they're probably off to their next martini. I just let it go. That whatever's going on in that car, universe, hopefully they'll get to their destination safely. Because if they're in that much of a rush to cut me off, I'm not gonna get mad. I don't know what's going on with that person in that car driving. I'm not gonna go project my feelings onto that person because let's remember this. Feelings are not facts.
Mhm.
If we feel that person cut us off because they're off to their next martini, that is not a fact. We do not know that. There
Mm.
was one episode where I was training my client. We were driving from my house to the park, and this person was honking because it was a stop sign, and he wouldn't go. Well, he kind of veered off to the right so that the person behind us can go forward, and they made an instant turn into the house. They quickly got out of the car, quickly opened the door, quickly closed the door behind them. This person probably needed to go to the bathroom. We don't know what is going on in someone else's life. We don't want to project our feelings onto them. That is how you address negative karmic patterns within yourself as well as outward. We don't know. We can't project our negativity. Well, we don't have negativity in this group. We don't project negativity because someone did something bad to us. It was an accident, or maybe they were in a rush, or maybe they have to take care of a sick child, or maybe they just got a phone call that they have to address an emergency. We just don't know. We can't automatically address it on our own and think we are higher than this person because they cut us off, or they're in a rush, or they're honking at us behind at the stop sign. We don't take that into account because we don't know what's going through it. And the universe, again, is watching, is listening. How are we reacting to situations like this? Do we know that this person did it on purpose, or it's that they're off to an appointment, or we just don't know. So when we're dealing with karmic negative patterns, we have to listen to ourselves, let that person go. I've learned two words that have been very instrumental in my journey as a life coach, in my journey as a light worker. Let them. They're in a rush, let them. They're not doing it to you. They're reacting to something. They're focusing on something else. They didn't do it to you because they're going to be a bad person to you. Let them. So, which leads to the next topic on the reflection questions. This is a workshop after all. In what areas of your life do you find yourself struggling against the natural flow of karma? And I open the floor to everyone.
I'll start on this because I'm curious about this. Um, what is karma passing through you? Like, let's say like someone deserves a certain karma and kind of like for their wrongdoing, for being hateful, just mistreating others, mean, right? And then sometimes you're just like, I feel like I should put them in their place, or like, they don't deserve my kindness, So it's like, so I mean, I haven't discerned that yet. Like, when is it like, oh, you hold back, I guess, your kindness because you see them doing bad things, or like how does the operator or karma side where the karma gets uh where the retribution is? I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and then sometimes how it's supposed to work through you. Are you just good karma, or are you sometimes bad karma? So that's where I have trouble with the flow. So help me out.
Okay, I can give you an example for me. Everyone may have a different example on that one. There is a person in the building that uh there was a package that was delivered to her and it was a medicine. And we don't have refrigeration capabilities to store this medicine. Number one, we didn't know it was medicine. Number two, we didn't know it was for her. So she came, and now I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The package came in on Thursday on a day that I was not there. So she came in to me because I was the front desk person and she just let me have it. And why didn't you store it on in a refrigerator? And I said, well, number one, I wasn't here when the package came, and number two, we don't have capabilities of refrigeration. Well, what am I going to do? The medicine is damaged. I can't take this medicine now. And I said, is there a possibility that you can have the company resend you the medicine again? Well, I paid $500. I don't know that they're going to give me the money. I don't know that they're going to give me the medicine again. And I said, I do apologize for what we're going through. However, is it possible for you to have the medicine go back to your job? Well, how am I going to have the medicine? And she was really mean. She was really nasty. But what did I do? I was nice because it wasn't up to me. I wasn't there to receive the package. I didn't know what the package was, and we don't have refrigeration capabilities for that. So if you, John, are receiving things like that, how do you react to that situation? Be good. Be nice. This person is coming from a place of pain, of anger. It is not up to you to tell them, don't talk to me that way. You're being a nasty, mean person to me. I kept it cool. I kept it nice. I kept it professional. Let the universe take care of that situation. Now, let's talk about what you said. How do we let it pass through and all of that? You don't take it upon yourself. This person's feelings are not your facts. In the example that I just said with this resident, I mean, if you see her, if anyone sees her here, even Umberto, I know that you are legally blind. Even if you see her, you would know that she's radiating just negativity because she always has a scowl on her face. She's always like, kind of guarded and everything. And her look, her demeanor, her attitude, her walk. And this is, again, I don't know her situation. I'm not going to project anything onto her. I don't know what she's going through, but
Mm,
she's radiating that energy, and that energy is coming back full force. I mean, the law
mm,
of karma is really in effect with this person.
mm,
So my job as a light worker is to alleviate this person's pain. The medicine she needed to take needed to be refrigerated. I'm not going to say it's not my responsibility. I don't know what happened to your medicine. That's on you. That she's coming from a place of pain. I'm not going to add to her pain. I mean, could you imagine the world of hurt that I'm gonna get from the universe if I were to treat that situation like that? No way. There's no way. I would never do something like that, especially to someone that's in pain. So, John, did that help you out? Because we have to realize when people come to us, they're coming from that place.
Hmm. Yes, I'm trying to get there. It's
It
a
makes you
higher.
think, doesn't it?
But at the same time, I will say that if someone came for me, I don't think I will hold back. Just because some people just need to be, in my, if this is just me speaking, but I feel like some people need to be told that their behavior is unacceptable, because today is me, tomorrow is the next person, and the next person won't be able to speak up, and so that
Mm.
kind of thing is where I'm like,
I,
because there's too
Well,
much of that people get away with. That's where I'm at. They're getting away
and
with
I,
it
I
too
hear
much.
that 100%. This seems now more like a boundary issue where we talked about self-care. If someone's coming for you, you put them in their place. But this young lady wasn't coming for me. She was coming from a place of pain because her medicine was damaged. That's different. If I in this room were to start to criticize for whatever reason, see, I'm not coming from a place of pain. I'm coming from a place of meanness. I'm just doing it just to be mean. Where the individual that came to me, where's my medicine? I got to take my medicine, and there's no refrigeration, and the medicine is damaged. She's hurting. But if I were to come to critique and I don't like what you're wearing and I don't like this and I don't like that, that's not from a place of mean. This is not a place of mean. That's not from a place of hurt. That's a place of mean. So we have to discern. These are
mm,
addressing these issues of negative karmic patterns. The person that's criticizing another person, they're gonna get theirs. The person that came to me for help, unfortunately, was coming from a different place.
mm,
I agree too. I think the boundaries are there for a reason, and it depends on the situation. It depends on the intention behind it. Sometimes it is intentional and it is about you, and sometimes it has not, like Eldon said, it has nothing to do with you. Then in that at that point, you show kindness, you show empathy because that person at that moment is is hurting, but um is not the intention behind this, not making it about you. It's like it's just having a situation that is frustrating and it's just venting at you, right? And it's a situation where it's at work. I mean, Eldon has to keep his cool. I mean, he has to keep professional, and it's a different scenario. It's different when it's in a personal relationship and someone is coming at you and it's a repetitive situation. And so it becomes a pattern. And so that person gets away one time and it gets away a second time and the behavior goes unchecked. And others around them are enablers or, they do not do anything because they are afraid that if they jump in and defend you, they become a target themselves. That's a completely different scenario. Then at that point, instead of retaliating, you need to think about seriously if this person needs to be in your life or not. Because a person like that will not listen to reason. Even if you try to have a conversation, that kind of a behavior is not the kind of person that is going to take kindly that you call them out in their behavior. That's why everybody else is keeping quiet, right? Because they know
Absolutely.
they become a target themselves. So those are completely two different scenarios. I have been in that situation, and I'm telling you, after you try everything, and the more you try, and the more you try, the more feathers, they pull out of you until you become the hen, plucked all the feathers, and you're like, oh my gosh. The only solution is just put boundaries and even cut them off of your life. That's sometimes the only solution. Sorry to say that, but it's true.
Well, remember, it's about self-care. John, I understand that you have to go, so that we can talk later on. Thank you so much for coming today and providing me this platform.
No, you're amazing. Great. I wish I could stay for the full class because this is a very good topic and I want to learn more. So,
Yeah,
but thank you. It was nice being here tonight. Thank you so much.
always a pleasure.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye,
Um,
John.
Bye.
yeah, we just got a couple of things to go through, and then we're done, and then I'll open the floor up for questions and answers. So, Lena, thank you once again for bringing that example. It is correct. You do have to set boundaries. You also have to gauge the situation. Is this person talking to you in a way that they're asking for help because they're in a place of pain? Or are they coming from a place that's not that way? Are they being mean just for the sake of being mean? This is how we address dealing with negative karmic patterns. How do we know? You know, is this person waking up on the bad side, the wrong side of the bed? You know, did this person get into, I don't know, a car accident, or maybe they drop something on their foot by accident or whatever. We have to gauge the situation. Is there anything else before we move on to the next topics?
No, that's fine.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. The next one is, how can we practice more acceptance in a challenging situation? We just discussed this briefly in my example. I practice more acceptance because I understand that the person that came to me for help was coming from a place of pain. She needed her medicine. It was damaged because it came the previous day and it wasn't refrigerated. So she doesn't know what's going to happen because we need to take our medicine when the doctor prescribes it to us. So she's coming to me from a place of pain. I'm not going to tell her it's not my responsibility that your medicine is damaged. I wasn't even here yesterday. You know, it's about how I treated the situation, because she wasn't coming to criticize me. She wasn't coming to anger me. She just wanted her medicine. And when she wanted her medicine, because she needs it, obviously, it was from a place of pain. I gauged the situation because this situation is painful for her. And it's my job to, this is a twofold situation. It is my job to, number one, at the job, be courteous and helpful. And number two, as a light worker, it is my job to ease her suffering. So I provided solutions to ease her pain. And it's not a lot of people that can do that, because they were like, well, that's not my responsibility. You should have sent it to your job. Why didn't you send it to your job? You should have sent it to your job. You didn't send it to your job. Now you sent it over here. We don't have a refrigerator. That's your fault, not mine. But I didn't do that. I didn't come that way. And so for me, that's how I practice acceptance in that challenging situation. I was brand new at that job. That was not even 2 months into the job, and I got this situation, but I'm glad I handled it in the way that I did, because I want to be as courteous as possible, and not to do it because of, if I'm mean to her, I'm going to be getting negative karma. It's just the right thing to do. So I ask the two of you here left, how can you practice more acceptance in challenging situations?
Well, I would say that I begin with myself first to healing inside. Why? Let me just give you an example. For example, John left the group now. So sometimes I start thinking, oh, did I did something disrespectful? Did I start like overthinking and start like, yeah, jump in conclusions or assume things that they're not real. Why? Because I'm speaking from my wounds, not from the place of love. So because I know I didn't say anything wrong. It's just John decided to leave because he have other things. It's not me. It's not because I'm a bad person. It's not because I did something wrong. So as acceptance and also working in order to have a healthy relationship and also to learn to give and also learn to receive, it's important that we heal inside, right? Emotions, and that we have that work. Self work is the right word. I don't know how to say, but it's self work, like emotional inside, that we need like to more like work inside.
Yeah,
And
that's correct.
and I would say, I don't know, I wanted to say this because I felt that is important. That sometimes, because that happens to me a lot. Probably it's self-esteem issues. Probably all of us have different kind of insecurities, and we most of the times I'm completely wrong. It's nothing about me. It's because the person have something, like you said, Elvin. You said it here a couple of times in this meeting today, that it's not our problem. Sometimes it's not our situation. So we have to learn to deal with that, but also work in ours internally, introspection, heal emotions, and give love. Like you said, give love. But we have to feel love first, right? Because
Absolutely. I do agree. I want to add to what you're saying. Feelings are not facts. And you just said
exactly.
it. I
Uh-huh.
feel that John left because I said something, because I did something. That is not a fact. He had a meeting to go to, and that's why he left early. You personalized it because you like John. Oh my God, did I do something wrong to offend him and that's why he's leaving? You are
Uh-huh.
feeling that. That was not a fact. He stated that he had a meeting to go to, and that's why he's leaving. He had other things to do. We're human.
We're humans.
Let's get that out of the way. We're going to think certain things. Am I wearing the right thing to this job? Is my hair right today? No one really is paying attention to your hair. They're paying attention to their kids, their problems, their job, their car. Did they
Mhm.
get a flat tire? We're the ones that personalize it.
Uh-huh.
Did I do something wrong to this person for them to be treating me this way? We don't know if they got a flat tire on their way to work and they missed a meeting and now their boss is on their back. We don't know that.
I don't know exactly.
Like with the example with the highway in the car, someone cut me off, and what did I say? You know what? This person is probably running to their next martini, or maybe they have to go to the bathroom or whatever. I don't know. I can't feel a certain type of way because I got cut off on the highway. It's gonna happen. And in 10 minutes, guess what? That person's not gonna remember that they cut me off, and I'm not even gonna remember the person cutting me off.
Hmm.
We
When
can't
Yeah.
that happens to
personalize.
me, when that happens to me, most of the time, I catch up with them on the red light when you exit the highway and you are at the red light. I usually catch up to them there. I'm like,
Right.
hey.
I mean, I'm on an electric bike when I go to work, and the bike doesn't go faster than 27 miles per hour. Obviously, any car faster than a bicycle is going to beat me to the red light. So you see them zooming to the red light, and that same car that went right by me, I meet them at the red light. I don't say anything. This person is probably for work or an appointment. I can't personalize it. I can't say, you cut me off because you're a such and such a person. I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
I can't project those feelings onto this person because feelings are not facts.
Mhm.
And another thing
Um,
that somebody told me a long time ago is like, people don't think about us as much as we think they do think about us.
yes.
They don't care,
That's true.
really. Like
That's
we
true.
are not even in their orbit.
Yeah, that is
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
correct.
that's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
That
acceptance is actually crucial. Is very important. You can't heal unless you reach what they call radical acceptance. You know, you can't change what happened. You can't change the other person. The only thing we can change is ourselves. That's it. And so, in order to get out of that monkey brain and thinking and rationalizing and going over these things and getting flustered with emotions. The only thing is just accept what is, and then make a decision. How do you want to interact with this person, or how you want to move forward, how you want to handle it, or if you want to just not talk to this person anymore. Like, does this person really need to be in your life? It depends how their behavior, some behaviors are just not acceptable and extremely toxic. And sometimes part of our growth and our healing is to learn that lesson, not to remain on the lesson for eternity. You're supposed to learn the lesson and move on. And if a person is in your life for a period of time, you learn the lessons and you move on. You don't stay there suffering and tolerating all these things and learning the lesson that you already graduated from, forever. You're supposed to learn and move on. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm just gonna ask you right now, have you been watching my videos? Because I talk all about that.
No, that much. I'm just talking about my life. I
No,
haven't seen your videos yet.
but that's the thing, because that's what I talk about in my videos when I
Oh,
talk about that. People are in our lives for a certain amount of time. They teach us something, or we teach them, or we learn something, or they learn something from us. And so, just like you said, you learn it, you move on. You don't dwell on it, Like for example, when people get broken up with, I was in I was in Chicago at the time, and it was a recruiter that I was working with. I was looking for work or something like that, and she just had gotten broken up with. And she said something very important. She goes, he broke up with me, but I spent time thinking about him. And the same amount that I think about him in the relationship is the same time he's not thinking about me in the relationship.
that's right.
That really made an impact on me. And
Yes,
I really learned to take that with me, because in her situation, it was a breakup. In certain situations, is your boss. Maybe your boss treats you bad or lets you go or whatever. And I'm like, the same amount of time that I'm spending thinking about this is the same time that that boss is not thinking about it.
exactly. And usually that happens like when somebody hurts us.
That is correct.
You could cut off the person from your life, but that person is still living rent-free in your mind.
Yep. And
And
I've
so
learned, oh,
you need to now process that and let it go and reach at least to a point where you don't think about them either.
and this is a life coaching technique where you can reframe the outcome in the way you want it to be. For example, when I didn't get my contract renewed at a certain job, I pictured my boss telling me, Eldon, go start a business. You're going to make money off of it. You don't need to be working here. You're too smart for this job. I reframed it in my mind, and that experience is what led me to be here in front of you. I am building my business. This is one of the things, this is one of the tools and techniques that I'm doing for my life coaching business. And it was in June of last year, and we're in March of this year. And every time that thought comes into my head, I think of those words. Go
Yes.
start your own business. Go make better money.
Yes, because the mind is amazing. The mind can tell the difference if it's real, if it did happen or not. You can
That is
tell the
correct. That is
imagine whatever
correct.
you want, and the mind takes it as a fact. And so you can play with that in a way that is healthy for you, and trick your mind into creating those empowering feelings and be able to move on in a healthy way, because you could use that technique for good and for bad. So just always try to choose what's good for you and others as well. It's like just
Yeah,
that's where the your moral values come in to play as well. And you could have all these choices, but ultimately the law of karma will show you that the choice you make has an effect, and try to it's just teaching us to be always on the side of the good side, and try not to succumb to the dark side, as sometimes that is when we get kicked in the back and reminded,
exactly.
don't do that.
But
uh,
that's it. That's one of the points that I spoke about. Mindful attention to your thoughts and actions. Are you turning a negative action into a positive outcome? Or are you going to ride that negative wave, continuing to feed that beast? Are you going to turn a positive action into a negative action? Someone comes and says good morning to you. What's so good about it? That's not the proper answer. Someone's coming nice to you, be nice. Practice the platinum rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's a karmic law. If you are going to be the type of person, someone's nice to you, and you're going to take advantage of this nice person, oh man, the universe has a world of hurt for you, and I don't want to be around when it happens.
Mhm.
Um, so ending the session today, do we have any more questions that you would like for me to address before we go?
Thank you, Elma. No, I'm fine. Well, in my case, I'm fine.
I just have one quick question.
Of course.
Is what's your take on? I think we talked about it a little bit in this session, but um, what's your take on divine justice? Divine justice is most people go,
Divine.
oh, that's karma, that, leave it to the divine, the
Yeah.
divine. Um, but there is some, even though you said, yeah, eventually this person, I keep hearing over and over the same thing. But there are some times that is like, I don't see it. Like, where is it? Maybe, as you said, maybe we don't find out. Maybe it's happening and we're not aware. But I mean, there are some people out.
Selena, well, for me, sounds like you want something bad for the person or not.
No, I'm not. It's
No,
not
no,
that we
No,
should, no, 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 no.
divine
no,
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 it's
no.
that
justice.
it's
What?
when somebody hurts you over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and then
Uh,
people around you keep telling you, "Oh, that's divine justice. Leave it to divine justice."
uh-huh.
And I'm like,
Okay.
okay, so I do that once, and then twice, and then three. Then by the time it's like 500 times, you're like, okay, where is this divine justice that people are talking about? Because I'm beginning to think it's a myth.
Okay.
I do not
Yeah.
engage in wishing ill to anybody because that's also bad karma. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You have to be careful
Okay,
with that.
okay,
That's
okay.
not what I mean. I want to clarify that.
No,
Um,
no, it's fine. I
but I
get it.
would like to see, like, where is this divine justice that people are talk so much about? Like, what is it? I don't know if it really is real.
It is real. Let me address, if you will, I'll give you three examples.
Mhm.
One happened instantly. My friend Susan and I we're going home from Vegas and we were on our way to the airport. We left on time. We were not gonna miss our flight. All of a sudden, this speeding car zooms right by us and she gets scared. And she goes, you know, that person should get caught. If you were late, you should be you shouldn't mess it up for anybody else. Next thing you know, the flashing police lights goes to stop that car because they were speeding. So it happened instantaneously.
Mm.
Second example, I was working at a job. My boss was very mean to me. She got one person fired, she got me fired, and then she was working on the next one. Well, she did what she did. I got fired. I moved on with my life. And what ended up happening was I found out 8 months later that they let her go. So we get a karmic instance that happened right away. We get a karmic instance that happened, or karmic retribution. Let's say that. You wanted karmic justice. These are the two examples. I'm going to give you a third one in a minute. The first one was the police officer stopped that car right away. The second one, my boss got fired 8 months after she fired, the two of us. And in
Mm.
the third example was I was with a partner and he broke up with me. And then I just living my life, doing my thing. And you've heard this before, living your life is the best revenge. I found out about a year or so that person's life was really not that good. And that was the karmic justice that you're looking for. It is not up to us. It is up to the universe. It happens in divine timing. But I said this one thing. I'm not going to lift a finger to harm this person.
That's right.
Then, yeah,
I agree.
I am not gonna do anything. Let the universe take care of it. And guess what? The universe took care of it.
Yeah.
So I hope I answered your questions. I gave you three examples of when it happened right away, when it took 8 months, and when it took more than 8 months.
no,
Yeah.
and I think it's the rule of the universe. I mean, karma and all is the rule. It's something that you cannot say, no, I don't gonna get it. If you do something bad, in return, you're gonna get that back. I mean, you're gonna get that. It's the rule, right? The
Yeah,
universe. There's
we discussed it. There's an action and equal yet opposite reaction. Someone does something bad to you, they're gonna get theirs. But
Mhm.
it's not up to you to decide when they get this karmic justice. It is up to the universe. Do not lend a hand. Do not lift a finger in this person's justice. Let the universe justice system take care of it.
Right. And what about those people around the world, that commit genocide or that, you know, they go unchecked, and that sometimes,
Mhm.
see the news and you wonder, like,
Yes.
what does it take for a person to
What
commit
God
so much
allows that.
pain, inflict so much pain, and get away with it, and nothing comes? Like, why is nothing stopping these people from hurting other people? It really is heartbreaking. Sometimes it makes me question. I've always kind of struggled with this law of karma because of that, because I see so much pain and injustice being done onto others. And I still don't see, maybe, it's not an equal retribution, because I'm not going to take it upon myself to fix it. But I'm
Well,
wondering, I don't
that's the
know.
thing. That's the thing, Solina. The universe is working behind the scenes.
Mhm,
Just like when we manifest jobs, a partner, a house, a car, a new job, the universe is working behind the scenes
mhm,
for our benefit, for our good.
mhm.
The people that are doing this, we don't know what the karmic retribution is. Yes, I understand with the genocide and the politicians and the all of this. In certain cases, for example, with like when companies dump into the ocean, they get a fine. That's their karmic retribution.
Mhm.
That's their karmic justice. With people that are committing genocide, there's many terrorist groups out there. I'm not going to jump too much into politics.
No.
This is not the point of this
No.
topic, but we don't see the karmic retribution or the karmic justice, if you will, at this moment. We don't know right now
Mhm.
what is going on behind the scenes with the universe. The universe, again, we live and we breathe because these are gifts from the universe. We use our talents because they're given to us from the universe. You do something bad, the universe is going to repay it. It is not our job to monitor the karmic justice the universe is going to give. Our job is to be at peace with ourselves and others, give of ourselves to others.
Yeah.
So I hope I answered your question. Like I said, I don't want to get too political. That's a
I know.
political, situation. My job as a light worker is to bring solutions, to bring
Mhm.
peace, harmony, joy, to people with my words, with my actions. I don't do it for reward. I do it because it's my job. It's what the universe put me here for. So I hope I answered your question, Solina.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, you did. I think that, as I said before, we only have control of ourselves, and I mean, that's what we're here for, to
Yeah.
become better and better, and help one another achieve that. So thank you for helping me
Oh,
tonight.
you're very welcome.
Selena,
Um,
I'm sorry. Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
Selena, have you ever written a book called Conversation with God?
Yeah, I have. I have. I'm not religious, and so I try to
It's like
read
a
more.
guy that have a
But
conversation.
yeah, it's a bit too religious for my taste. But yes, I have.
It's a little bit too real. I
Yeah,
read.
like to read
Okay.
a literature that is
Okay.
too into a particular religion. I'm a
Okay. Okay.
spiritually independent.
Okay. Because I read it and the question that you just did
Mhm.
in this book, they talk about that. I mean, there are a lot
Yes,
of things that
I'm aware.
there
Yes,
are a lot of things in this world that we don't understand, or how God allowed this happens, man.
yes,
People
yes,
dying because they don't have food or things like that. And I don't know, the perspective of the book gave me another like hope or something that is what Eldon said, that the universe is working behind, and we don't understand the purpose of this, but
yes.
um
Thank
yeah.
you.
But I don't know, I just wanted to ask you this because
Yes,
I remember in that book, they yeah, they talk about this topic. But well, it's fine. I'm glad that you read it.
yeah, thank you. It is
No,
something
thanks to
that
you.
is being discussed in so many texts and so many things, and
Uh-huh.
so I try to look at from everybody's perspective and
Exactly.
everybody's brain, and that's how it's interesting how
Mm-hmm.
most people come back to the same conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, sometimes spiritually, I have these questions, and I
Yeah,
dig and dig and dig and dig until I
me
finally
too.
get
Me
an
too.
answer that is satisfying. So far, this is how I have got so far with the karma thing, or the divine justice. I understand the karma, but the divine justice part is the part that I'm still I think not fully satiated, but I will continue my search.
And
Divine
and
job.
and and I can, attempt to help you and just saying, let the universe take care of it. It's
Yeah,
not up to us to decide. I let the universe do its thing when I got, fired from that job, or my partner left me, or that car that was zooming to the airport. I didn't do anything. The universe was like, I got this.
yeah. So
We
I think
saw
I did
instant
something.
karma. We
Yes,
saw karma in 8 months, and we saw karma after a year and a half. I
yes.
didn't do anything. The universe took care of it. And I am satisfied. I got my closure. I got my answers.
Mhm, mhm.
But you saw that. Why did you get satisfied? Because you saw that happen and you find out that there was something. But when you don't see, and it keeps happening and happening, and you don't see any evidence of any kind,
Yet,
that's when my question starts. Like, why does this divine justice applies to some people but not for others? It's like, what is it that these people doesn't apply to them,
it
but
does
then for
apply
these
to
people
them.
does? I don't
It
know.
it does apply to them. It's just you're not seeing it yet. How
Okay.
many times have we seen certain politicians? I'm going to enact this law that's going to take rights and infringements from other people. And then on the next news article, they just got caught doing the exact same thing that they're putting laws against.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
Sometimes it happens right away, and sometimes it takes more time,
Hmm.
mm,
right? Just
Yeah.
because you don't see it now doesn't mean it's not going to happen at all. They're not getting away with it. The universe has a perfect accounting system.
Yeah.
mhm,
The
Yeah.
universe has this karmic justice, divine justice, all in divine timing.
Yeah.
mhm.
Just
Sometimes it
because
takes a
you
little
don't
longer.
see it now doesn't mean it's not going to happen at all.
Hmm. And sometimes it happens in um, future generations. Unfortunately, this karma is something that is generational too.
Hmm.
Sometimes our ancestors committed mistakes, make mistakes, and we are here trying to rebalance for them, to attune for them. So you never know. It
That's
may not
it.
be this lifetime. It could be another lifetime. It's
Justice
a
will
mystery.
be served. And
Yes.
as humans, we want it now. We want to see it now. I want them to go to jail for doing this. I want them to get a fine for doing that. Let the universe take care of it. They're going to get theirs. You
Mm.
know, so it's just as humans, we're impatient. We want to see the justice now, karmic justice. That person was speeding to the airport and we left early. He should have left early. Well, 2 seconds later, the flashing lights of the police were right after this person. You
Yeah,
know, and I was
and
really angry when I got fired from my job because I knew that I was doing a good job. It's just the boss was a person
yeah,
that was not a good person. She was a mean person. She was a mean boss.
yeah.
But what I found out was, Eldon, this right here, they've had her eye on her. They was that management had their eye on her before you started working here. And
Mm,
then 8 months after I left, they let her go.
mm.
They were working, the universe was working behind the scenes even before I got to that job.
Mm.
But does
And
it stink that I got fired from a job that I like? Yes, it does. But I got a job that was better at the LA Times a couple of weeks after. And I forgot all about that job. I forgot all about her.
that's something that is also very important because sometimes things happen for a reason. And
Always.
sometimes we think that what happened is so bad, but then it happened because something better is coming.
That's
It's being
correct.
something better. So that's something I experienced too. And I wanted to clarify before we go that the reason why I'm inquiring about this divine justice is not because I feel the need to, oh, punish this person. That is not it. Because I already went through all of that and I already went through it- that radical acceptance because without that, you can't move on. You know, I have to confess, I spent years stuck in that loop that is so toxic for myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
but the acceptance is there. But that I'm very curious, you know, with
Mm,
it's a spiritual loss. And so I am very inquisitive. And I need, sometimes I have the need to understand a concept to
mhm,
be able to apply it in my life in a way
mhm,
that serves me. And I got to the point where I said, okay, I accept that. I let go this. This is what it is. It is what it is. It's not going to change. And I have to focus on me. That was perfect. But in the back of my mind, I'm not, but how does that law of the divine justice work? You know, it's like, but I have that question in the back of my mind. I don't know. And I've been like this since I've always kind of questioned, passages of the Bible and things of Bible. How come,
yeah.
I was even punished at school for asking questions. I said, don't question the Bible. And I go, I need to know. I need to understand this. And that's just my curiosity. That's all it is. I'm not saying that I wish anybody any punishment or any kind, because I know the universe will take care of it somehow. Um,
Exactly.
but I
I
would like
love
to
it.
understand it better one day. But I
Yeah.
think I'm getting there.
I
Well,
love
and
it.
and that's the thing. We all learn.
Yeah.
Humberto, I'm going to give you the floor. Just give me one tiny second.
No, no, thanks. Yeah.
It's
So,
just our nature to
uh-huh.
be impatient. I want to
Uh-huh.
know the answers now. I can't accept it. I need to know right now because if I can, I can't move on. We will get it in divine timing, and I've learned that, and that sets me at peace.
Yeah.
Especially as an entrepreneur, I've been working since June on establishing my business. And I put the website up. I'm doing YouTube content. I'm doing these workshops, you know,
Mhm.
and I'm just waiting for that client influx to come through. But I know that there's things that I have to learn before I get there. So am I going to
Yeah.
be impatient and dedicate my energies to that impatience? Or am I going to keep learning and growing and accept that when the first client comes in, there's another one that's going to come in, two more after that, four more after that, eight more after that? You know,
Yeah.
those are the things that I learned in my personal journey. And your personal journey, Solina, is different than mine, and it's different than Umberto's. We all have that inquisitive nature. We are all hungry for knowledge. And
Yes.
so when we practice acceptance, in this case, the karmic acceptance, which we talked about it, we then feel that satisfaction of, you know what, the universe has this. It's coming when it's coming. I'm just gonna wait because you know what? The universe is playing catch up. I already did what I did. I planted my seeds. I'm gonna watch them grow. And I think I said this before. You put a seed in the little pot. You're not gonna sit in front of it. Hurry up and grow. Hurry up and grow. Hurry up and grow. I can't wait for you to grow. I grow now. No, it's gonna grow when it's gonna grow. We're gonna get the answers when they come. And I was during the breakup story that I told you about. And I'm like, when am I gonna get the answers in? I need to know. And then I just at some point I was like, I don't care. Ja, let it go. And then shortly after that, the answers came.
Yeah. Patience, I think, is the key word
Yeah,
you said. I think
yeah.
I want to learn, I want to explore, I want to understand, and I think just to let go of the need to understand is what my lesson is probably, and just practice that patience. And as you said, trusting the divine timing of my learning and my understanding will come when it comes. But tonight was actually very helpful because it got me closer there. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Umberto, did you want to share something before we close out?
No, because I was thinking silly jokes. So in my mind, I was thinking, but it's about what you said. Is patient, and remember, we in not in this meeting now, but in previous meetings, I struggle with this a lot. But hey, Eldon, what happens? I don't. I'm waiting for start playing drums here. I don't receive anything, and now I'm going to start. But I have to be patient. We have to wait, and I think the rules of the universe apply for everyone. There's no special things here. I think special people, nothing like that. There are rules that apply for everyone. Is what I think.
You're absolutely right. There are, in effect, the rules are done by the universe. It's not on your time, it's on the universe's time. You have to learn something, accept something before you get it. As a web developer, we get challenges because we need a web page to show up fine. And why isn't this working? Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? I go and I'm like, you know what? Fine. I accepted that it's not going to work now. I'm going to go and get a glass of water or walk around the block. When I come in, I find the solution right away because I was trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. I just
Mhm.
needed to let go, relax, refocus. And I'm like, was taking me 20 minutes to do. I just needed to get a glass of water or walk around the block, and the solution is right here. Because
Mhm.
I was forcing it. The gears were grinding.
Mhm.
Once we let it go to the universe, whether it's this web development project or a breakup or getting fired or what we're talking about with karmic justice, it's not up to us. Once we let it go, it comes to us because we're not focused on it. And that's what the law of karma is. Let the universe take care of it. You do something good, you get something good. You do something bad, you get something bad.
Yeah,
But I
but
want to
it's
thank you both for
thank you,
tonight and
thank
for
you.
allowing me to share my skills, my gifts, my talents with you. And as always, I give you nothing but a warm thank you and a welcome. You're welcome for joining me today and allowing me to share.
Thank you, Eldon.
You
Thank
are
Thank
you.
you,
very
Selena.
welcome.
You, Eldon. You are
Thank you,
amazing.
Solina, for coming, and thank you,
Well,
Humberto, for coming. Have yourselves a great evening.
you too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.